Good morning, this is Dwayne, and today I'd like to talk about whole tone scales and chromatic scales and whole tone chords, and then balanced scales and balanced chords, okay? You'll have to excuse my voice today. I have a very bad cold. I was on vacation. We went up to Seattle to take in a game between the Mariners and the Angels and spend some time with family and so on. And when I got back, I got a very bad cold, and I lost my voice completely. So that's why I haven't recorded for a couple of weeks. But in any case, I'm back, and my voice will recover. And so let's talk about whole tone scales. First of all, a whole tone is a whole step. It's not a half step like that. That's a half step. That's a whole step. So whole tone scales are made out of whole steps. Whole step, whole step. Now that would be a half step, so I can't go there. So I got to go a whole step, whole step, whole step, whole step. So the C whole tone scale would be like this. And it gives kind of that kind of maybe eerie feeling. You get some feeling. You hear a lot of that kind of scale in paranormal kind of movies because it gives that kind of impression, okay? And then you can build chords, of course, out of whole tones. In other words, as a root third and fifth made out of a major third and a major third, okay? And so you've got a whole tone there, 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 and so on, okay? So you can build, and those are augmented chords, by the way, aren't they? Because it's root third and sharp fifth, raised fifth, okay? But those are whole tones, and you can improvise on. You can have a lot of fun playing whole tone improvisations. Now, chromatic is just the opposite. It's not whole. There's no whole steps at all. It's all half steps. So that's a chromatic scale because it climbs right up the scale and doesn't skip anything. By the way, when you play a chromatic passage, try to use your thumb on white keys, your thumb and second finger, and use your long fingers on the black keys. It's only logical because your thumb is so much shorter than your longer finger. So use your longer fingers on the black keys. When you have two white keys in a row, I like to use thumb second, okay? And then long finger, thumb under, long finger, thumb under, like so. Okay, so that's chromatic. So we have whole tone scales, and we got chromatic scales, right? Okay, now a balanced scale is a combination of whole steps and half steps, and that's what major and minor chords are made out of. They're made out of balanced, a major third and a minor third. In other words, there's a whole tone interval, and there's a minor interval because it's not based on another whole step, okay? So a major chord is balanced, and a minor chord is balanced too. And that's why we use major and minor chords way more than we use augmented or diminished triads, okay? Because they sound balanced. It's a balanced sign. That's a balanced sign too. That's unbalanced. You want to get out of that. You can use those chords, but they're usually transition chords. In other words, if I'm playing C, the next chord is usually something like that. It resolves. You don't have two augmented chords in a row. You move to some other chord, right? And same way with diminished triads. Diminished triads, by the way, they're made out of chromatic passages in a way, okay? Because you have a stack of minor thirds, okay? And there's only three different diminished chord. Diminished triad is a three-note chord, but a diminished whole chord makes up of four notes. And it's called a diminished seventh, actually, but it looks like a sixth, but it's a seventh, okay? And there's only those three because if you go any further, you're just inverting the first chord, aren't you? Okay. But you don't live and die with those chords. In other words, a whole piece isn't made out of those. But you use them as transitions. Again, you see, you go from major to maybe diminished, then to a minor chord. So that's the story between whole steps, half steps, and then a balanced scale or a balanced chord made out of both whole steps and half steps. Okay, that's it for today. If you enjoy these piano tips about music theory and so on, come on over to playpiano.com and sign up for a free series of lessons on piano tips. So thanks, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye for now.